Hi there. As a part of AgilePoint's version 10 release, we're happy to announce support for AgileLLM. Now, if you haven't heard that name before, it's a large language model provided by AgilePoint primarily for our trial customers. So for those customers evaluating AgilePoint's cloud product and would like to test the AI features, but don't yet have an AI subscription, this is for you. Now, over the course of this video, we'll show you how to use the various process activities in the AgileLLM activity group via a sample application. Okay, so we'll walk through the sample application in just a moment, but on the left-hand side, you're seeing the activities for AgileLLM. Now, as mentioned, this video is going to focus around the process activities, but as you can see here, we do have AI control towers just like all of the other major AI platforms, and we'll cover these in another video. Now, the process activities available are analyze an image, which will use computer vision to understand a provided image, and chat completion. So very similar to the sort of text-based interactions you might have had with other large language models like Claude, OpenAI, or Gemini. So we'll use chat completion for today's application. And as you're seeing, again, we have the document intelligence application. Now, what this essentially does is compares two versions of a contract and leverages a number of agents to classify and extract details from those contracts. So let's take a look at the application. We have a human task where a new document that's just been signed will be uploaded and submitted for processing. That document will be converted into text, which AgileLLM can use at the various stages of our process. And as a next step, we have our classification agent. So as you can see here, coming from this agent, we have a number of process branches that might be activated. So this will basically be in charge of understanding that inbound document type and classifying it into a few different categories. Is this a statement of work, license agreement, customer feedback, or other? Now from here, we have sub-agents with special skills to extract details from a statement of work and a license agreement, respectively. So let's take a look at the configuration. So as you're seeing here, this is using the chat completion activity. Now, because this is a native feature, I don't need to create an access token to leverage this capability. Beyond that, I have a number of initial model parameters. All of the details are here under system instructions. So the goals and mission are to classify the provided text into a few predefined document types. We've just talked about these, being a statement of work, license agreement, customer feedback, or other. The skills include the identification of contractual, legal, and service-related language to make formal distinctions between an agreement and informal feedback, and to make a deterministic classification between these for later use in our automation. Now, the input is going to be the entire document text itself, various instructions to distinguish one document type versus another, no quality verification steps, and the output here being the category: statement of work, license agreement, customer feedback, or other. Now, as mentioned earlier, the input or the incoming message is going to be the entire agreement text itself, and the response is going to be a document category, which we've stored here in a variable. Okay, so that's our classification agent. Now, the statement of work and license agreement agents are very similar in configuration, so we'll only go through one of them. Let's take a look at our license agent. So again, no need to create a connection string here. We've set our initial model parameters. And moving into the system instructions, again, this agent is in charge of parsing details from a license agreement. So you're seeing that here as the overall goals and mission. The skills include document parsing, identification of key clauses and metadata, basically the things you might find in a license agreement, and JSON formatting. Now again here, the input is going to be the entire agreement text, various instructions specific to a license agreement, no quality verification, and the output. So here we have a JSON structure, all of the details we need returned from this model. So as you're seeing here, we have the structure and sample responses. Now, as mentioned, the statement of work agent is very similarly configured, only tuned specifically to a statement of work. But as you're seeing here, coming out of both agents, I have different sub-processes. So what these are going to do is basically take all of the extracted details, load that into our subprocess, and then look up our current understanding of the existing contract as stored in an existing system of record. From there, we'll present both details side by side, everything extracted from that new agreement presented side by side with the current details under the prior contract. So here we'll bring a human into the loop to validate the differences between the two, with activities to update our systems accordingly. So that's our statement of work branch. You'll see here the license agreement branch will work very similarly, taking all of the same steps, but tuned specifically for a license agreement. Okay, so with that, we understand how the application is going to work, how to configure our various agents. Let's go ahead and run the application. Okay, so here we have our form. We'll upload a new document for processing. First run through, I want to use the license agreement. All right, so that's just loaded. Let's go ahead and kick this off. Okay, so our classification agent has determined this is of type license agreement. So once this extract is complete, we'll see the subprocess activate and our human task should be ready. All right, so that extract is done. Let's open up our subprocess. Okay, so we've loaded those details into our subprocess. We're now extracting the current contract understanding from our system of record. And in just a second, we'll have that side-by-side comparison. Okay, so our human task is ready. Okay, so here we're seeing high-level details about the agreement itself. Now, the metadata comparison screen shows me where there are key discrepancies. And then finally, how best to harmonize the data. So based on what we're seeing, the metadata update might make the most sense, but we can always trigger a new contracts management flow where we can kick off a new contract process, or we can select no change. Let's go ahead and run this once more, this time using the statement of work path. All right, so we've kicked off a new instance. Okay, so this time we have a statement of work. All right, so now you're seeing those details extracted from our statement of work. Again, some pretty key differences. But with that, that's going to conclude the content for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this gives you a better understanding of how to configure and use the various activities for AgileLLM. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.